right, guys, that music kind of gets me. Welcome in here to East Texas Tonight on East Texas Now. I hope you are having a fantastic evening. It's just now 10:35 here, straight out of our East Texas newsroom. Let's kick some things off tonight on East Texas Tonight on East Texas Now, starting with an interview that we have with Bryan Walding. He's an automotive technician, and you might think, oh, he just cleans up some cars, he fixes some things up, gets us back on the road, right? Well, he's not only doing that with precision, he's also a dance instructor by night. Now, this story is pretty cool. He teaches the art of the Texas two-step. Walding brings a unique balance of technical no-two, how, and rhythm, which I don't have myself, but I know you guys might. So, take a listen here to our interview with Bryan Walding. You can spend your days under the hood and your nights under the spotlight, at least on the dance floor. By day, he's diagnosing engines, maybe fixing those transmissions, maybe doing a little body work. You never know, but generally making sure that your car doesn't decide to quit on you at the worst possible moment, right? By night, he's teaching people how to glide, spin, and do all the fancy footwork of the Texas two-step, which honestly, it's pretty tough, but it's a skill that we should all use after a long week. He is an automotive technician, a dance instructor, and probably the only guy in town who can perfectly time a right turn right and spin around on the dance floor simultaneously. Please welcome in the man who proves mechanics and moves matter, Bryan Walding. Welcome in here to East Texas Tonight. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing awesome. I appreciate your time.
Of course. Well, I'm so glad that we get to know you here. Obviously, you know, you have a lot of dance moves, don't you?
Actually, believe it or not, you don't have to have very many moves. You just make your moves, you like blend them together and make it where it looks like you have more moves than you really have.
Okay.
I only have like 12 moves. There's other guys that have way more than I do.
Oh my gosh. Well, you spend your days obviously working on cars. Tell me a little bit about that.
Um, I've done it pretty much my whole life. Worked on bicycles and lawnmowers for a guy down the road. He used to take the stuff to Trader's Village, sell it, and then I moved out at 17 and had to get a real job. And I went to work at a wrecking yard. Just kind of took off from there. Been doing it, like I said, my whole life. It doesn't matter what it is from bumper to bumper. I can actually do it. I can actually fabricate stuff also. I can work on new stuff. I can still work on carburetors, which most people don't even know what carburetors are nowadays.
Well, in the evenings, you are teaching dance. Do you ever mix the two? Like, if you can shift gears, you can maybe shift your feet. Like, do you ever like, kind of mix it up, give people a little joke here and there?
Believe it or not, I have never ever put the two together. Um, Whenever I go out dancing, it completely releases me from life. Uh, Anything that I do in my normal life is completely just gone. I have nothing to do with my day to day whenever we go dancing. The only thing that I relate to is I'm an introvert naturally, and dancing has made it where I can actually talk to people that I don't know.
That's cool. And it also gets the community, out, and they might be nervous to come out and learn how to dance anyways, because for one, I understand it's embarrassing when you don't know how to dance, but it's also embarrassing learning too, because somebody else knows more than you, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of ladies feel like what you just said, but take whatever any awkwardness a lady would feel and amplify that by 10 to 100 for a guy, because we have to know what we want out of our partner to get them to do it. And I can take a lady that doesn't know how to dance, and I can actually have them dancing at the club. I mean, within about 5 minutes, I can have them, not even that, a song lasts 3 minutes. So I'll say less than a minute. I can actually have a lady out dancing on the floor. But a guy, you can't do that with them, because we have to actually know what we want before we can communicate that with our hands for what you want or what we're wanting out of you. So it takes quite a bit. And the way I teach, especially the guys, I make it extremely awkward. And I tell them right up front, it's going to be awkward. You're going to be stiff. You're going to be like, man, I don't want to do this, but get past this part right here. And it's always the very initial part. I said, get past this right here and we'll have fun. And once I get them past that, I'll have them laughing during the awkwardness, because we're all awkwardly laughing. And then we just take off. And then I'll have them, I have most people dancing within about 15 minutes. on the guys, and like I said, on the ladies, I can have them dancing within seconds, basically.
That's really cool that you not only get to be involved in other people's day to day life, or I guess night to night life because you're out at night, right? That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Um, what is harder? Do you think getting an engine running smoothly or getting 2 feet to cooperate on a dance floor? Since you give some dance lessons.
Well, for me, honestly, the get my feet moving. That was actually the hardest part. It took me a couple years before I could figure out how to two step. Uh, I did half step for a while just so I could go out and have some fun because I didn't. I worked by myself and I lived by myself, so I didn't have anybody to go out and do things with. So I started learn or trying to learn how to dance. And like I said, it took me about 2 years to even figure out how to Texas two step. I would do what they call half step, and it just looks like you're walking around the floor. Um, so I'd have to say definitely it's harder to get your feet moving properly.
Well, with learning dancing, it does take a lot of time to, I guess, let it soak in. And it's not just going to be a one time where you just go and learn and you don't do it again for a year, right? Like, this is something that you kind of make sure you keep up with. You can't just, I guess, gain the knowledge and then just completely leave it there for a long time, right?
You're right. You are very right about that. That's something that you definitely can't let go of. I tore my rotator cuff in my right arm, and there's some moves I used to know how to do because I couldn't lift my arm properly. I didn't do them for years, and now I don't remember how to do them. I've got to actually relearn on some of the moves.
Can you teach people how to pretzel too?
That's one of the moves I've lost. I used to feel pretzel, but because of the way you have to move your arm, I literally couldn't pick my arm up high enough to do it, and my shoulder would actually pop out of socket. So I actually want to relearn the pretzel. I do one that's similar. It's called the infinity, or you can say it's my turn, your turn.
Okay.
But I would like
I'm
to
trying
I
to
would
I'm
like to get
trying to
back where I
picture
can do
it.
that.
I'm trying I'm trying to picture in my head. When I always talk with my hands, so I'm trying to picture in my head like your turn, my turn. I learned how to pretzel whenever I was like maybe a wee little girl in junior high, and I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah,
That's why I'm like, I've never seen so many dance halls because I was born a city girl. I hate to say it, but coming up here to East Texas, there's a dance hall in every single county and every single city. So it's just a little
yeah.
different, harder for me to kind of catch up to all of the new dance moves. I did not know that there is a line dance for literally every song that's been released since like 2010.
Oh boy, there is.
So that kind of threw
Definitely.
me for a loop. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many dances that all of these people they work on, they practice, and so it's really cool to get to know somebody who can like teach them at least how to just two step or maybe even pretzel or at least talk about your turn, my turn, the infinity, whatever else.
Yeah.
Whatever else kind of pops up in within the years, I'm sure you'll be able to teach them too because I feel like it's just continuously growing. How does it feel to be a mechanic and also be a dance teacher? Do people react to you like confused or impressed or like are they jealous because like what you're doing?
You know, it's actually really funny when people start asking me, what do I do? And it gets even funnier because that's not what I went to college for. I, I, I am a science geek. So I went to college for water quality and environmental science, but I've always worked on things. So the job industry just wasn't there whenever I got out of college. So I just went back to mechanicking. Um, Most time, whenever I get to talking to somebody, if you start talking about car stuff, I'll geek out. You want to talk about microbes? I can geek out. And I get the funniest looks. They're like, you know that? And then they start wanting to quiz me about all sorts of stuff. Um, Whenever it comes to dancing, though, it's just like I said, you just like go into a whole different mindset, and it just like frees you. Where like, say if I'm having a really bad day and I'm mad because I put a transmission in, didn't do something right, and went to go on the test drive and it didn't work. And if it's a night that I'm going to go dancing, I forget about that transmission the whole time I'm out teaching people how to dance, and I'm having fun dancing myself. So it makes it where it breaks up the bad.
Yeah, well, what if both of those events were combined? Have you ever been to like a car show and then there's like dancing with it? I feel like that's not an out of pocket question, and that's just because I have seen so many interesting things happen here in East Texas that I'm like, okay, there could potentially be like a dance at a car show. You never know.
Well, you've always got music playing at the car shows. And honestly, what you just asked, yes, because I was at car show with my girlfriend and I just started actually dancing around her and having fun. I just started two stepping, trying to get her to do it too. And she's like, stop, we're not in the right place. And I'm like, come on, let's do this. And we end up go ahead and dancing. And we actually created a little crowd. And then I started teaching a couple people there at the car show.
That's
And then
so
next country
cool.
song come on, we started dancing again.
Oh my gosh, how fun is
It's
that?
fun.
So not only do people pull up and they ask you to fix their car or maybe even help them figure, something out that's going on, you can also teach them how to two-step. And you kind of combine both of those at that one event where you say that you literally taught people how
Yeah.
to dance at a car show. So it's kind of like you're living a double life, honestly. You kind of have it going
It,
back and forth. Have you ever like shown up to have you shown up to work with your boots on?
well, I actually work for myself, so
Okay, so
and
you can
I'm
wear boots
actually
if you
wearing
want.
boots. Yeah, I wear boots constantly. Only difference is one pair's got rubber soles, the other pair's got slick soles.
Oh my gosh. Well, how do
But
you
I'm always
unwind?
wearing boots.
How do you unwind from a full
And
day of greasing gears and then put your boots on to go dance? How do you I guess take the stress off?
well, actually, that's what the dancing's about. It You don't really unwind before you get there. You just get there and you take a breath, and then you let the dance side take over, and you just start having fun. Uh, Whenever I'm trying to get more guys to come, because that's actually why I started teaching. Is like I was saying earlier, I can't teach a guy how to lead at the club, and that I started thinking, man, I got to do something because I've had guys ask me, hey, would you help me dance? And that's actually how I started. I would ask guys, would you please help me learn how to dance? And they'd give me some off the wall things and wouldn't actually help me move my feet. I couldn't figure it out. So once I did figure it out 2 years ago, I was like, I want to do this for other guys because guys aren't helping guys learn how to dance. They will help you learn how to do new dance moves, and then they're not very patient. So if you don't pick it up right away, they're like, "Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do for you." I I don't know what the attitude is. I don't know if it's uh, like a alpha thing, like, "Oh, I can't be teaching other guys how to dance," or something like that. I'm not sure.
I don't
Um,
know.
but
It's
that's why I
interesting.
started doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool that you get to teach a lot of people how to dance, and I think that honestly it's really good to see the community coming together and actually doing something other than being glued to their cell phone. So if you want to go out and learn how to dance or teach how to dance, I think that it's really cool.
Man, it opens up your whole world. I've met people from all over the world because of dancing, and I've been all the way up to North Carolina, South Carolina, up to Montana, all over Texas and Oklahoma. Everywhere I go, when you say Texas two-step, they know what you're talking about and they can dance right with you. So I've met some pretty interesting people. I met a lady from New Zealand. She was pretty neat.
Wow.
She was in Dallas for she's an airline stewardess,
Hmm.
and her and her friend was on layover, and they came out to Red River, and I danced her all night. We just had a blast.
I love it.
It opens up things you wouldn't normally think about.
Okay, well, have you ever considered teaching the Texas two step while fixing a vehicle? I'm just asking for a friend.
No, that'd be a little difficult.
You think?
Your brain definitely works completely different at that time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right. Well, that's all the questions that I have here for East Texas tonight. Thank you for joining us, and I really enjoyed getting to know you and all about, obviously, your day job and your night job. You're like double personality, you got things going for you, and I think that that's really awesome that we get to chat and talk about, what you do besides working on cars and dancing, the night away. Have some fun, and it's cool that you get to be involved.
Appreciate your time. If we could
Of
get more
course.
of the guys to come out, they'll realize it's a lot more fun. And so many of you ladies like to dance, and more of the guys, if they would just come out, just give me an hour, and then they'll have fun from then on.
Awesome. Well, Bryan Walding, everyone, we'll see you next time, Bryan. Thank you so much for hopping on here for a quick interview. We'll see you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
All right, everybody, that was Bryan Walding talking about Texas two-step, and I think it's pretty interesting. I haven't done it since I was a little girl, as I did say, but it's still a fun time. All right, it's time. Buckle up, folks. We're taking you back in time with our time machine, quite literally back in time. All right, from miracle cleaners to late night must-haves. We've all seen the products that promise you on the box or promise you on the ad that they change lives in seconds. But they do actually work. But do they just work on our wallets? That's the question. Tonight we're turning back the clock to one familiar face from TV commercials and putting his pitch to the test. Our time machine takes a look at the Steam Buddy, and you might know who the anchor is. Go ahead and take a look here. Does it work with Joe Terrell?
Hi, Billy Mays here for the Steam Buddy. The fastest, easiest, and safest way to remove wrinkles from all your clothing, guaranteed.
If TV screamer Billy Mays says it works, well, it works, by golly. Hey, wait a second. Wasn't he the guy who sold us on the Dean King? Crazy thing pulled the paint off our van.
So we're here in the Does It Work lab, break room, kitchen. But, you know, I figure it works to steam vegetables. We've done that before, so let's steam some clothes.
First impression, Steam Buddy feels nice and solid, and you get a couple of attachments we'll show you later. Measuring cup comes included, tap water is acceptable, and the Steam Buddy's easy enough to fill up. Plug it in, and seconds later...
That heats up fast. I ain't even pushed a button yet.
And when I do...
Woo! This is probably the most wrinkled item I have. It's a child's shirt. Looks like it's just been, you know, taken out of the washer and hung up to dry. Let's see, I was going to see what it was made out of. Silk, 70 silk, and then something else. All right, see what happens.
We'll do just one side of each shirt for comparison's sake. The directions warn against pushing the button too fast. Nothing major, just a little water. And of course, I have to see how fast is too fast. In about a minute, I have this. Pretty good.
Definite difference. Let's move on to something else.
There's no way that thing works. Ah, my face!
Popped on the fabric brush attachment. Not sure what it's for. Feels like a lint brush, but we'll try it on this all-cotton shirt. Again, just the part of the shirt on the left side of your screen. And again, in my haste, pushing the button, I make a few water spots. But the final product leaves little doubt. The Steam Buddy made a difference. Hope you can see it at home. Finally, these ladies' pants. Pretty heavy wrinkles. Most of the big wrinkles drop out almost immediately. A few were tougher, but in the end, we were impressed. And then we broke out the creasing tool. Ooh. Clips on just like the fabric brush. Just put the pants in its grip and slide on down. Very, very impressive. Probably the best reason to buy this steamer over any other. Worked great on the shirts, too. Does it work? Billy has redeemed himself. We give the Steam Buddy a yes.
All right, guys, y'all have to know that is my news director back in 2007. I mean, it just, I'm sorry, Joe. I know you're probably watching right now, but you're awesome, dude. That is so great. Talking more about that time machine, after a few blasts of steam and a couple of soggy moments, the verdict is in. And I know some of you have a steamer at home. I do. I'm guilty of buying about 5 or 6 of them. And so the Steam Buddy, it's definitely good. I liked that one. That was pretty awesome. All right, we got some time to give you guys more on some of your lighter news tonight before you Hit the sheets because I know it is just about time for us to close out for Weather Extra. Second graders in Arizona at an elementary school got an unexpected lesson in teamwork where their class field trip turned into a rescue operation. Jane Cunningham explains. Take a listen.
Second graders at Chandler Unified School District.
Kids are great.
They were excited. They were ready to go.
It was their school field trip to Shamrock Farms to learn about life on the farm.
And I was really excited about it, to spend the afternoon with my daughter in her class. We didn't know what to expect. They just knew there were cows, and they were really excited to see the farm and tractors and things like that.
But the biggest lesson of the day came unexpectedly when bus drivers Michael Randall and Doug Rogers saw something in need of help.
I look over to check my right, and I see something in the canal. I thought it was a deer.
My first thought, it looked like a coyote. I didn't know, and I looked again. Then I heard the kids say, "It's a dog, it's a dog, it's a dog." Me and one of the teachers, without it, it was like an unspoken eye contact, and I literally looked at her and I said, "It looks like we're gonna go save a dog."
Save the dog! Save the dog!
Which is exactly what Randall did.
Does it surprise me that he would have jumped out? No, not at all. Not at all.
Once off the bus, he saw the dog exhausted and in distress, stuck in the canal.
Every time I would go one way, the dog would go away from me.
Chaperone Julia Valenti sprung in to help.
In my opinion, she's kind of the hero because she literally just jumped into action.
The dog was sort of frozen in the middle in between us, and I thought, all right, here we go. So I took off my socks and my shoes.
As Randall tried guiding the dog from above, Valenti jumped into the water.
I did not realize how strong the current was. I did not realize how slippery it was. The sides are so steep, I had no idea. I couldn't even get out on my own.
The two worked together.
You see an animal in distress, you want to help.
And after 10 to 15 minutes, the moment came everyone was waiting for.
So I scoop it. I've got one leg in the slippery moss. I've got one leg on the side of the canal, and I'm just holding it up, and we just 1, 2, 3 all together, hoist it up, and the dog gets out.
For the students watching,
it was a total teachable moment.
It wasn't just exciting, it was unforgettable and became a real-life lesson in action about stepping up, working together, and showing kindness when it mattered most.
There's still good in the world, that people still want to do the right thing, that we can come together and work as a team.
For me, I just think it was good that they saw like something good as far as like teamwork and collaboration and talking to each other and working out a situation.
All right, everybody. I hope y'all had a fantastic night tonight here on East Texas Tonight on East Texas Now. That's all the content that we do have for you guys tonight, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow with more. Hope y'all have a fantastic evening, and coming up here at 11 o'clock in just about 2 minutes, we have our Weather Extra with meteorologist Andrew Tate.